All right, guys, so we can start off sitting in a nice, comfortable seat. If you would like to bring both of your legs out front, crisscross, like so. Straighten your spine, sit up nice and straight. Maybe you relax both of your hands on your knees, close your eyes, and just take a few moments here at the beginning of class to settle in and relax a little bit, just to get your mind right for the work that we're about to do. So you want to create a single line of energy from the crown of your head all the way down to your sits bones, sitting up nice and straight. Relax your shoulders back down your spine and bring your focus to your breath, and just take 5 really long inhales and exhales through your nose together as we start class today. Your eyes can be closed if you would like. So big inhale, fully expanding that chest. And exhale fully. Try to keep that same length of inhale. And exhale. Creating a gentle rhythm here of equally long inhales and exhales. 3 more on your own breath. One more big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. On your next inhale, sweep both arms up over your head. Interlock your fingers, flip your palms. Big stretch here. And exhale, bending just to your right a little bit. Trying to keep your back nice and straight though. Don't come too far up off of your left butt cheek to lean over too much. You want to stay grounded, but a nice side stretch along your left side should feel good. And then play around with where you're looking. You can look up, maybe look down. Wherever looks good for you to look. Look at it. And then we'll take 5 breaths here. With every inhale, try to lengthen your spine, lengthen those arms. Exhale, just cartwheeling over, maybe just a little bit into your side. 3 more inhales and exhales. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax those shoulders down your spine. On your next inhale, come straight up. Exhale over to the other side. Once again, trying to make sure that you're sitting up nice and straight, keeping that right sits bones nice and sitty. Sit on it as much as you can. Don't come up off of it. And then see where your head is. Looking up, looking down, wherever it is, that's fine. And remember to lengthen on those inhales and relax on the exhales. 4 more breaths here. On your next inhale, come straight up. Exhale, both arms down, folding forward gently, slowly walking your hands out in front of you. If this is as far as you can go, that's fine. Don't really worry about how far you're bending. Just try to make sure your shoulders are nice and far away from your ears, and then nice straight spine as you bend forward into a nice fold. Maybe even coming all the way down to your forehead, if you can, on your mat. And we're just going to take 5 breaths here. Every inhale, you might come up just a little bit, and then exhale, really trying to get into that fold. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, slowly come up, and then just exhale, moving your hands over to the left. Should feel this all the way down your right side. Hopefully it feels good. And then exhaling, folding back over onto your mat. Take 4 more breaths here. One more big inhale. Open mouth exhale. Inhale, push up just a little bit. Move all the way over to the other side. You don't have to do it so slowly, but whatever feels good. Your transitions are yours. And then, once again, trying to get into that nice left side body this time, bending over to your right. Coming down as far as you can. That feels good. Trying to make sure you're nice and grounded on your sits bones, not coming up too far. And breathe about 4 long, slow inhales here. And on an inhale, maybe lengthen, come up just a little bit, and then exhale, settling back in. One more big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, slowly push up. Come around into a nice tabletop. So, shoulders on top of your wrists, knees underneath your hips. And you can have your toes either outstretched, or you can tuck them under, whichever feels good. I'm going to tuck mine under just because I want a little bit extra. Go ahead and flip here. I'm going to turn around to the camera. Flip both of your arms around so that your wrists are pointing forward, and then just sensation in your wrists here. You've been sitting and typing all day. You might need some wrist rejuvenation. Wrist-juvenation? Find some stillness here. Twist your palms so that your fingers are pointing away from each other. Come forward a little bit. You might want to play around with exactly where. Get nice and comfortable. You might still want to feel a sensation in your back toes. And then you're just going to go from right to left, adding some movement, some sensation to your wrists here. Be gentle, be slow. Make this your own. If you find a movement, maybe you add some circles one way or some circles the other way. Whatever movement that you find here, just be gentle. Waking up your wrists. Hopefully feels good. And if you're taking circles, maybe go back the other way. Make sure you get nice and even here. And then find some stillness once you equal out. And then fingers point towards the front of your mat. And then once again, you can play around with how far front and back you come. And just taking some gentle rocks forward and back here for a slightly different sensation. You're wanting to rotate your elbows exteriorly, and so your biceps should be pointed straight into the front of your mat, and your triceps, the back of your arms, should be pointing towards the back of your mat. And just take some movements back and forth. Good wrist love. And then coming back to just a regular tabletop. Once you're through with those nice movements, go ahead and tuck your toes, push up and back to a downward facing dog. You might want to pedal it out a little bit, dropping one knee, extending one leg, and then the other. Just take some really slow, intentional movements here. Gently waking the backs of your legs up. Not really trying to do a whole lot of hardcore stuff in our practice today. Just some nice, deep stretches that hopefully make us feel good. Find some stillness in your downward facing dog. Actively push into the centers of your palms. Push your head back towards your knees. So your head is going down in between your shoulders. Probably won't touch your knees with your head. If you do, you're amazing. Quite a yoga specimen. On your next inhale, slowly walk both feet up behind your hands, coming into a forward fold. Maybe readjusting. Bring your heels almost to touch and just kind of dangle and sway left and right. Try to keep just a micro bend in your knees here. If you need to take a bigger bend, that's fine too. Whatever feels good, just still waking up all this junk in the back of your legs. Find some stillness here. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Head is the last thing that comes up. Hands come up above your head. Exhale, hands to prayer. Take a moment here. Mountain pose. Hands can be here. Hands can be by your side. Perhaps closing your eyes. Just take a moment to feel the power of mountain pose. I always really like this one. Makes you feel strong, like a mountain. Hopefully. On your next inhale, you might need some assistance. I always use my hands to help my leg up. Coming into tree pose. In tree pose, you want your feet a few different places. You can leave it gently kind of on your mat here for an extra help with balance. You can bring it up to your lower calf, or you can bring it up to your upper part of your leg. Just try to make sure you don't put any sort of lateral motion toward, like this way along your knee. And if you fall over, you're awesome. All the cool people fall over. And hands can be either on your hips, they can come up, they can be out to the side, they can come behind you, whatever feels good. This is your practice. If you were a tree, what sort of tree would you be? Now's the time to figure it out. Or else. If you want even more challenge, you can try closing your eyes in this tree pose. I will certainly fall over if I do that, so I'm not going to do it right now. But I encourage any of you who are practicing at home to do so. Okay, so a little transition here. Try to make sure that your right foot doesn't touch the mat. Take a big inhale. And then exhale. I'm going to turn. Exhale without tapping that right foot down. Just kick that right foot back. Toes pointed down for warrior three. Nice balance here. It's okay if you wobble. I'm wobbling. And just take a few breaths here. You can take 5 deep breaths. That's what we're going for. One more big inhale. Exhale. Plant your hands, just drop that right foot straight back, drop your right knee, coming into a low lunge. You might want to readjust a little bit with how far away you have your feet from each other. Just try to make sure your knees stacked on top. Your left front foot wants to be active. You want to be kind of stomping into the ground and trying to drag your mat back towards your right leg. And then your right knee should be kind of activating towards your left foot. And both hands can come up. 5 breaths here. Maybe readjust if you want to get a little bit lower. One more big inhale. Exhale, both hands come, frame that left foot, step back to a plank. We're not going to be in plank for very long today. I'm just going to want to wake up your core a little bit. Big inhale. Exhale, plant your knees, come back to a child's pose. So your heels or your feet want to be touching there, knees nice and wide, and then just settling down onto your forehead. On your next inhale, push into those hands, tuck your toes, push back to a downward facing dog. Trying to find some stillness in our down dog. Maybe check in and see where any tension in your body may be. Are you holding on to something that you just isn't serving you, isn't helping you in this pose or in life? And just breathe into that and then exhale it out. On your next inhale, feet up behind your hands for a forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep both arms up over your head. Exhale, hands to prayer. So, coming into tree pose on your other side, you might want a little bit of help. So remember, if you need a little bit more help with balance, you can stay just like this. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can come up to your calf and then all the way up to your thigh for a tree pose. And then hands can be wherever you would like, whatever looks good to you. They can be out down, as in our mountain pose. They can come up. Just find that point in the distance that you can focus on and be a tree. It's easy enough. Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to ask a tree, I guess. Four more breaths here. Of course, if you came running back telling me that you knew the tree's answer, I might just have more questions. I don't know. So, once again, preparing. Don't let your left foot touch the ground. Big inhale. Exhale, kick that left foot back like you're kicking the door behind you, if there is a door behind you. Coming into Warrior 3. Arms out to the side. And we're going to be here for 5 breaths. Toes pointed down. One more big inhale. On your exhale, gently step that left foot back. You might need to plant your hands and readjust, coming into that low lunge. Remember, this is your practice. It doesn't have to look a certain way or be perfect or anything like that. You're here for your mat for yourself, and the fact that you're just here doing anything is something. So don't be as worried about like, am I getting this pose right or that pose right? That'll come. With more practice, all of that'll come to you, I promise. So in your low lunge, you can fool around with how far away your knee is from your left leg to the heel of your right leg. Remember, you're actively dragging that right foot back and sort of twisting this hip forward to create that tension in your body. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. One more big inhale. Exhale, sweep both of those arms around, frame that right foot, step back to a plank. One more big inhale. Plant your right hand underneath your face. Come to the knife edge of your right foot. Left arm comes up for a side plank on your right. One more big inhale. Exhale. Coming back around to side plank on your left, planting that left hand underneath you. Remember, if you need any help with these side planks, you can always just plant that under leg for a little bit of extra help. Otherwise, side plank. 2 more breaths. Exhale. Plant that right hand next to your left. Knees come down. Push back to a child's pose. Be here for 3 more breaths. Big inhale through the nose. Open mouth exhale. Inhale, push up and back to a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, send your right leg up and back, toes pointing down. And we're just going to hang out in 3-legged dog for 5 breaths. One more big inhale. Exhale, bring that right knee to your right wrist, right ankle to left wrist, coming into pigeon on the right side. In your pigeon pose, look back at your left foot, make sure it's pointed nice and straight. Maybe add a little bit of a back bend into our inhale here. Hands beside. Just take a couple of deep breaths here in your back bend. And then, whenever you're ready, on an exhale, slowly coming forward. If this is as far as you can go in your pigeon and you feel great, you are fulfilled, that's fine. You might want to come down onto your forearms, or if it's within your practice, come all the way down, head on the mat. We'll be here for about 5 breaths as the one more big inhale. Open mouth exhale. On your next inhale, come up. Chance to add a little bit to this part of your pigeon. If you would like to, left arm comes back, left leg comes up. If you can't do that and you can only do this twist, that's fine. If you can grab the inside of your left leg, that's great. If you can tuck that left foot into your left arm crease, maybe open up a little bit, but wherever you are, 5 breaths here. One more big inhale. Exhale, gently release. Don't just flop apart. It's never a good look. Plant both of your hands. Sweep that right leg all the way up and back. Stack your right knee on top of your left hip. And maybe just swing that knee open a little bit. Wiggle it around. And then exhale, right foot meets your left. Maybe pedal it out a couple of times before we move on to pigeon on the left side. Find some stillness in your down dog here. On your next inhale, left leg comes up and back, toes pointing down. And we're going to be in this 3-legged dog for about 5 breaths. Big inhale. Exhale, that left knee to left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. Untuck your right toes. Look back. Make sure that right leg is pointing nice and straight. And before you go down into your pigeon, take a couple of deep inhales, hands on either side. Just a slight back bend here for a few breaths. One more big inhale. On an exhale, coming forward to whatever feels good in your body. Might just right hands, could be down to your forearms, and if it's within your practice, maybe just folding all the way over that left leg. For pigeon on the left side. Remember to melt. Heavy melting, always encouraged on an exhale. Three more breaths here. Checking in to see if you have any of that tension that you need to breathe into. And then just actively and consciously letting it roll down off of you onto your mat. On your next inhale, slowly push up. And now, to balance out both sides, lifting that right leg, grabbing with your right hand the inside of your right foot. If this is as far as you can go, that's great. But if you took a bind on one side and it's within your practice to match on the other, we'll be here for 5 breaths. One more intentional big inhale. A relaxed and controlled exhale, letting go of that right leg, gently letting it touch the floor. Plant your right hands, untuck your right toes, send that left leg up and back. Left knee stacks over your right hip. Maybe move that knee around a little bit. Whatever feels good. Exhale that foot down. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, walk your feet up behind your hands. Drop your butt. Have a nice seat. coming into a bridge pose here. So if you have a block and you would like to go into supported bridge, feel free. Not everyone has a block. I'll show you how to do it without a block. So bring your feet about shoulders width apart, just behind your sits bones. Press firmly into the tops of your hands, and then just raise up. Use your core. Raise those hips up. If you would like to interlock your hands and come up onto your shoulders, that might feel good. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. Pushing down into your mat with those fists if you're making them underneath you. Activate your glutes, your butt muscles. Activate those and really push up into this bridge pose. 3 more breaths. If you want to add a little difficulty, you can come up onto your tippy toes, perhaps. One more big inhale. Open mouth, exhale, release. If there is any other pose that you feel like you must do before the end of this practice, now is the time. Otherwise, coming into Shavasana, final resting pose. You might need to wiggle it out just a little bit to prepare. But once you find some stillness, palms can face up if you need a little more acceptance, down if you need to ground a little bit more, but whatever feels good. Feet relaxed out to the side, and bring your attention back to your breath, back to those long, slow, wonderful feeling inhales, and those heavy melting exhales. Three more of your own breaths. Try to make them the biggest you've taken all day. You may want to start inviting some gentle movements back into your body, maybe wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingertips, gliding those wrists and ankle joints all around. Maybe on your next inhale, send your arms up over your head, interlock your fingers for a big stretch. Falling over to one side in a fetal position. Once again, just taking a few moments here to tell yourself how awesome yourself is. You could be doing a million other things right now, but you are practicing with me, with yourself, just making yourself better. And that makes you better. I don't know if you're familiar with the idea. On an inhale, push up to a nice, comfortable seat. Hopefully, you guys feel nice and alert and awake and just awesome. I feel super great. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's class. Have a wonderful afternoon. I hope to see you all on your back, on your mat, on your backs, on your mat, or standing up, whatever. Hope to see you guys soon.